Are you getting tired of the same sandwich fillings?
So are we, so we've decided to do some pulled pork. It's not rude in any way, shape or form.
For our pulled pork, we're going to take a shoulder of pork with the bone in, and we're going to marinate it in so many different spices and flavours, cook it in a little bit of beer for a long time, and we're going to serve it with our very own homemade barbecue sauce, with ketchup, brown sugar, some spicy things, lots of spices, lots going on, and serve it with a slaw as well, making cabbage.
I have to tell you that pulled pork is one of my favourite things in the whole entire world, and if we don't do this justice, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Well, we have done pulled pork before, but only in our cookbook. So now we're going to do it in video form, in a different recipe. To start off with, carrots, 2 of, onion. Mike, if you can peel and slice the onion. Jamie, you're just going to slice up our carrot. We don't even need to peel it because it's just added flavour to the stock that we're going to cook the pork in.
Okay.
So just thin slices. And I've got 2 cloves of garlic that I'm going to do the same kind of thing with. We add a shot of oil into the pan, and then a nice high heat, all of the carrots and onions can go in to colour off. Now, if you can just keep an eye on that and shake it every so often, we'll put the lid on. I'm going to put the garlic to one side, we'll put that in a minute, but in the meantime, I'm going to show you our pork
Now that
shoulder.
is a slab.
Now that is a bit of meat. It's so cheap. I mean, all of that, and we're talking about enough here to make probably 10 sandwiches, £8.
£8.
So,
$12.
good conversion.
€10.
Good conversion.
What part of the pork is this?
This is pork shoulder.
Pork shoulder.
So it's the bit that's there, the front, that. And this one's still got the bone in. Of course, you can buy it with the bone taken out.
It's a bit floppier.
And some people would tell me this is wrong. Most people would cook it with the skin on. I prefer to take the skin off before cooking it, because then it's not excessively greasy and fatty. It's a fatty bit of meat anyway.
Yep.
But we can take this off.
You could probably go to bed under that, couldn't you? That piece of skin, just use it as a duvet.
Pig's blanket.
Yeah.
Hey.
You've got to cook it for a long time.
Yeah.
So like something like a lamb shank or pork belly, it's a cheaper cut of meat because you have to cook it for a long time.
I know it might not be one of the most visually appealing things that we could ever do, but I would really like to go to a butcher's and see how a pig gets distributed. Like
Distributed?
When they cut it up.
Extracted.
Yeah, so where does bacon come from? Where does pork shoulder come from? That might sound silly, but how does that look when you've got a pig there?
Yeah, let's do it.
Thumbs up if you think we should do that.
So that all comes off. Now that does make amazing crackling and things like that, or pork scratchings, that's where that comes from. We're not going to use it today. What we're going to use is this huge slab of meat. It's still got the bone through the middle.
Yep.
And now we're going to rub into it our spices. And basically, both sides, this is smoked paprika, garlic powder and cayenne. Rub it all in, Mike.
Lovely. Come on, rub your pork, Mike.
He's giving me the cold shoulder.
No!
Jamie, can you grab the salt and pepper? Because my
Yes.
hands are a little mucky. Have you ever given a massage before?
Huh?
That's essentially what you're doing. You know when you know that? It's
Yes.
the same part of the body. So it's just the pork shoulder. Now the cooking process of the onions and carrots has started. I'm going to add the garlic in, the brown sugar in, tomato puree. Put all of that into here.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. It does need a big pan, and the pan also needs to be able to go in the oven. So, Jamie, if you can open up our beer. Pulled pork needs to be cooked in liquid, and I reckon we're going to go for 498ml
That's good.
of beer.
You're
So
mixing animals there.
Go in there. Mixing animals.
Yeah.
Black sheep ale.
An equal quantity of water. It doesn't need to completely coat the pork, but nearly coat it. At this point, bring it up to a boil, put the lid on top, and then into the oven at 160 degrees Celsius for 3 hours. So it's a long time, and halfway through, just turn it over so it's all submerged in the water.
Okay.
And in the meantime, we can make a slaw and a dipping sauce to go with it. Next up, and to serve with our pulled pork, we're going to make a homemade sauce. So that is lots of ingredients all in a pan together. Tomato ketchup.
That's already a sauce by itself.
That is
I've
already
been
a
quite
sauce.
happy with just ketchup,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Well, you wait till you taste this, what we're going to end up with. Cider vinegar into there like so. Hold some back for our slaw. Some honey, some Tabasco, some of Liam Perrin's favourite sauce, some smoked paprika, some brown sugar. You can actually just strain off all the juices from the pork and reduce that right down, but it can be very greasy, but it has got lots of flavour. Okay, this is an alternative, spicier version that we're going to make on the side to serve with it.
Okay,
You
so
can use either
the
or.
pork juice is good, but it is a bit greasy.
Yes.
Right.
Let that bubble away and reduce down to a sticky sauce, and then we can make our slaw. Now you do need that because pulled pork is very rich, it's very fatty. We're going to put it with a spicy sauce, and this slaw just cuts through that. So, if you could grab a bowl and just juice the lime into there, and all I'm going to do is take a white cabbage and very, very finely slice it. So that's going in there with all of your lemon.
That's a lime, Ben.
That's going in there with all of your lime juice, some sugar, and that last tablespoon of cider vinegar. Mix all that together.
There's a lot of balancing of flavours going on here, isn't there? All the sugars and
Yeah, I
things
like
that.
it. There's spicy stuff.
We'll smell that.
Balanced. Thanks, that went right into my brain.
It's quite an intense sauce, and you'll only ever have a little bit of time. Likewise, this slaw, try a piece of that.
I'm not sure I trust you.
Oh, wow.
Lime juice, sugar, a little bit of cider vinegar, and the cabbage. That's all it needs. That'll go with it.
A shot of tequila would be fantastic with that.
But now, the pulling part of our pulled pork.
All right, sweetheart.
So this has had 3 hours, and that's what you're left with. And in theory, you should just be able to pull it apart literally with 2 forks. So just grab some, and then that pork literally just falls apart into little strips like that. So, well, I just want to show you the bone, because now it was cooked on the bone, but now this bone will just fall off.
So tender.
That's the bone, so it adds amazing flavour into our pork, but we can get rid of it now and just take all of this amazing stuff and just strip it up. That's probably enough for now, but you can see how much is left. All of that is edible now we've taken the bone
I'll
out.
wait for lunch for the next 3 days.
It does keep in the fridge for a couple of days, so it's no problem at all. Next up, we've got some hot dogs. So we're going to do kind of pulled pork dogs, but they're pulled pork sandwiches. You can do tacos, you can do whatever you want. So there's one of them. If I do 2 more, do you want to grab some slaw and put that on top of the mix as well?
Do it, Mike, do it. It's probably a good time to mention that these aren't the only sandwiches that we've ever done. We've done some fantastic sandwiches, which Ben's going to tell you now.
We have flatbread.
Flatbread.
We have doorstep beef roast beef sandwich.
Beef doorstep sandwich.
And others.
And many others that you can find at sortedfood.com or on the YouTube channel as a whole. Sauce smells ridiculously incredible.
And it is strong, you don't need much of it, but you've got to just finish off the entire dish. A good drizzle of that. So there we go, our pulled pork sandwich with homemade slaw and a spicy sauce, sorted.
Yeah, there's not really
I'm not going to wait
anything
for you
say.
guys,
No,
because this
we
is
might
one
as
of my
well
absolute favourites.
It's not going to be majestic to eat either, is it? You're just going to have to.
Majestic.
Yeah. The,